Hi.
Yay.
Doris
my
Taylor,
big.
that's right, best thing I ever did.
Oh.
Marsha Cumbie. Cheryl, where's Cheryl?
She down there.
Yeah. And so I work at the Texas Heart Institute. I graduated in '77. And after I graduated, I, believe it or not, wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life, so I went to work for Ross Perot for a couple of years. And I don't think people know that. I went to work for Ross Perot for a couple of years, and I ended up in Texas, and that's how I went back to school. And went to school at UT Southwestern, and then my career kind of just happened, and I've been really...
It didn't just happen. You're brilliant. It didn't just happen.
And if Cheryl shows those pictures of the bad hair and the overalls, I'm gonna kill her. But no, seriously, Donna was one of the reasons I became a Lancer. I met her in 1972 or 3 when I was 16 and didn't know anything about life. And I'm now a little older than that and still don't know a whole lot about life. I'm still as gullible as I was then. And still not sorry, just regretful, right? No, seriously, I'm thrilled to be here, and I've had a great life and had the opportunity to do a lot of fun things and hopefully make a difference. And I learned how to make a difference because of the people in this room.
And for those who don't know, tell everybody about your heart stuff, because that's important.
So I work on ways to try to repair the damage in the heart after a heart attack, both with stem cells and more recently building organs in the lab with stem cells. And I guess I didn't say this, but I've started 3 companies in my life and been really privileged to hopefully make a difference. Some of the stuff we've built has made a difference in the lives of thousands of people, and that's pretty cool.
She's world famous and she's ours.
She was on 60 Minutes.
That's right. I still have that. Yes. You can YouTube it. You can
One
YouTube
of the
it.
coolest things is Morgan Freeman said my name.
It's like God saying. Oh, I know. That's right.
That should be your ringtone.
I'm Colleen Murphy, all right. I was in the class of '68, but I graduated early so I could get married. So it has lasted 50 years. I don't know about
There you go.
50 years, yes. I've been a math teacher for something less than 40 years, so I'm retired. And now I'm into grandchildren, 7 of them. And I get to keep some of them after school every day, so that keeps me going.
Yeah.
And I have 3 daughters who are chemical engineers. Being a teacher, I encourage them to go for something where they could make money. And they made more starting out than I made the last year I taught.
That is just wrong.
That's wrong. That's wrong. But what's wrong is coaches that get these millions.
That's another story.
Yes, that's another.
I'm Ann Lipscomb Webster, class of '68. I majored in library science and history, and my lifelong dream actually came true after wandering around and getting my master's at Florida State. I worked overseas for a few years, and then I always wanted to work at the State Archives, and I spent most of my career at the State Archives in the reference library, where I assisted Carol as she worked for her book. And I've written a couple of books. One of them was Tracing Your Mississippi Ancestors. The most recent one is Mississippians in the Great War. I retired after 37 and a half years in 2014. I worked on the 2 Mississippi museums, and I volunteer there now periodically. I'm a speaker for the Mississippi Humanities Council, And if you'd like a speaker, I give a talk on the Mississippians and the Great War. And I also give a talk, and I don't think it would apply here, I give a talk on tracing your African-American ancestors. If you haven't been to the two museums, you need to go. They're great.
That's awesome.
Great.
Next.
I'm Ricky Rayner Garrett, class of 1973. After graduating from the W, I went to graduate school at the University of Mississippi and spent 3 years teaching high school English. And then in 1991, I became the National Alumni President for MUW. And 1 year later, was appointed by Governor Fordyce to a 12-year term on the State College Board. And so I spent 12 years governing higher education in Mississippi, and then following that, became the executive director of the Mississippi Nurses Association, and spent 8 wonderful years representing the nurses in Mississippi. And during that time, went back to school at the age of 56 and got a PhD in higher education. And so I tell people all the time, it is never
That's right.
too late to go back to school. I then in 2014 started the first association for nurse practitioners in Mississippi, and so that organization's been in existence for the last 4 years, and I managed the Mississippi Speech, Language, and Hearing Association, and in June was elected Alderwoman at Large in Clinton. So I started an interesting political road this past year, and Jesse and I have been married 43 years as of December, and we have 2 grown sons. Our oldest one is in Huntsville, Alabama. He's a field engineer in Huntsville, Alabama, and our youngest one is a assistant director on a show called Superior Donuts on CBS. I don't know if y'all watch Superior Donuts, and we have 3 grandchildren, 2 babies in California, and a granddaughter at the University of Southern Mississippi.
Very good.
Oh, Lord. I'm Terry Sasser. I graduated in 1982. I'm still not sure what I want to be when I grow up. I never married or reproduced, so I don't have any of those things. I'm waiting for Tom Selleck to come to his senses.
Amen, sister. Amen.
Someday he will, he'll come to his senses. If not him, Kurt Russell, or I'll go for a younger man, Chris Pratt. I will take Chris Pratt. Good choice. Good choice. Yeah, good choice. He is currently single right now, and yeah. But just in case this goes on YouTube.
There you go. Shall I make it public or private?
Chris, you're a cute guy, and I'm a fun girl. So, I've bummed around in my 20s, really. I just kind of bummed around as a lifeguard. I taught school 1 year. Anyway, wound up accidentally going to work at the state health department where Cindy was, and spent 15 years there. I did 5 different jobs. I tend to get bored easily. And I started off in PR, and then I was a trainer in water supply, and then a trainer in environmental health, and then I was the trainer for the agency, and then I went to the bioterrorism program, and then I was a health alert network director. And along the way, I got my master's degree in public health and policy administration. And then I left there, and I went to work at USM, and the College of Health, ran a little bitty research center there, and started working on my PhD in mass media and public relations. Finished that. Got a job teaching at Augusta University in Augusta, Georgia. Taught there for 6 years, and my mom had some health issues. I needed to come back to Mississippi, so I came back, and I'm now an assistant dean of instruction at Gulf Coast Community College in Goshen, and I'm over the night classes, and I do dual credit and dual enrollment and all that kind of fun stuff. And again, still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. So that's me.
Sounds like you can be anything you want to.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Peden Shepherd. I graduated with class of 1980. I have 2 daughters, 1 grandson. He is 13. His name is Aiden, and my heart. I was a music education major when I was here, more education than music. Lost my ability to sing in '92, And so I went and taught, and loved it. Spent a minute in the principal's club. And retired in 2007 and went to Mississippi College, where I'm now an associate professor of education. I work with undergraduate and graduate students in language arts. Another class that I teach is educational psychology. And loved my days at the W. So good to see my big sister Marsha and my grandmother Doris over here. And just so glad to be here.
Okay, Lynn.
Okay, I'm Lynn Vihos, Lynn Ward, P. Lynn. I should have graduated in '78, and that's the class I claimed.
That's right.
But I changed my major and graduated in the class of '79. I finally got married when I was 33, had 2 kids. They're 22 and 23. Just got the youngest one married. They both graduated USM along with new husband. Aliki's got her graduate degree, and Christina and David got their bachelor's in the snowstorm in December. And I've been teaching for 39 years and live on the coast.
There you go.
Are you still in Pascagoula?
Well, in North Jackson County. We kind of had to move after Katrina. Move north.
Yeah. I'm Jeanette Sinclair Lacey. I'm class of '77. I married a professor and stayed here. I'm retired now. We have one daughter who lives in Chicago and just got married thanks to Carol in November.
Oh, yay.
It breaks him up pretty good.
Has Carol got a service or something?
Carol? Are you in the market there? Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Whoa.
let her add hers on the end of it.
Oh,
Let me
mercy.
do- yeah,
Oh,
do it.
gosh, I was hoping to avoid this. That's why I was doing it.
You don't get by with that.
Well, that's why I was doing that. Marsha Cumbie Graham, and I graduated in the class of '78 with a major in English and library science, and started teaching in Lamar County, teaching middle school English, and then I got my master's in special education, gifted and talented, and did the whole gifted program for Lamar County for a long time, and then got my master's in library and information science, and then was a librarian from then on until I retired. And now I teach librarians all over the world to use one of the softwares that lots of libraries use to operate, called Atrium. And I love that because I get to go places I probably would never get to go otherwise. I have one son who is a history teacher and a football coach and a basketball coach. His wife is a labor and delivery nurse, and I have